On this episode of the Greenway Outdoors, I've come to Southwest Oklahoma with my friend Jeremy to immerse myself in the history of the American bison.
Our tribe fought Red River Wars to try to preserve and save the buffalo.
Gain a deeper understanding of the challenges the buffalo faces.
Then, as well as now, parasites and disease was a major problem.
And Jeremy and I will each set out on a journey to hopefully harvest our very first buffalo.
I'm getting pumped. Like the idea of being able to go out buffalo hunting and actually spot and stalking them, it's exhilarating.
This way we can both feed our families with pure bison meat and cook up some of my famous wild game nachos.
20-25 minutes is gonna really allow those spices to soak into the meat a little bit better, give it a little better flavor.
I'm Kyle Green. I travel the globe with my best friends hunting for wild game and dynamic conservation stories. Join us on our adventure as we escape the shackles of the modern world and gain a deeper understanding of where our food comes from. Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors. A picture can say 1,000 words. Folks have been saying that phrase since film was first being developed. And I think the point they're driving at is if you look close enough and really study a picture, you'll uncover a story, or maybe even a few of them. To many, a picture of a bison tells a story about our past, about Native Americans, European settlers, the Great Plains, war, survival, how things used to be. And for most, a touch of sadness when we think about how such a magnificent beast was driven so close to extinction. When Oklahoma became a state in 1907, buffalo were nothing more than a memory here, which is strange to think about because at one point North America had tens of millions of bison roaming these lands. That said, while we're a far cry from those kinds of numbers, there are now around 21,000 bison in conservation herds and 420,000 in commercial herds. As of 2022, there are just a handful of states that currently have a lottery tag system that an individual can enter and hopefully be drawn for the opportunity to hunt a bison. But unfortunately, there are plenty of hopeful hunters that have been putting their names in the drawing for many years and never got the golden ticket. Hunting preserves help by giving opportunities to those hunters and also generating more bison on the landscape. With buffalo populations now considered stable and an overall conservation success story, it's a dream come true that my buddy Jeremy and I get to participate in a bison hunt.
When it comes to buffalo hunting, it's like something different. It has like this weird sense about it. When you picture it in your head, you don't picture it as something current.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's like you're going back in time. Like it defines nostalgia in every way.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, when telling people that I'm going on a buffalo hunt, they're all just like, wow, like, what are you gonna use? Like, you know, and then it all brings them back to, 100 years ago when our ancestors hunted buffalo, or the Indians hunted buffalo. But yeah, I mean, it's something I've wanted to do my entire life, so I couldn't be more excited. This is
pumped you're here to do it with me, man. Both get one? It'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, meat for days.
For years.
First order of business was to sit down with Dr. Gerald Parsons. He's a veterinarian who specializes in bison. I really brought him in because I'm fascinated by the information he has on bison history. Yeah, I did want to talk to him about proper shot placement, but his take on what really happened is certainly not what I learned in school.
The federal government trying to defeat the Indians, and to do that they had to get rid of their commissary, which was the bison. If you had a bison tongue, they paid you a bounty that for the number of animals you could kill and get rid of. They were shipping a lot of the meat out east in a form of what they call pemphigun. And it was a sport just to set out on the railroad cars and see how many bison you could shoot. So it was a total waste and slaughter.
What are some of the ailments facing the bison now as opposed to in the past?
Then, as well as now, parasites and disease was a major problem.
Would you say that disease was the biggest factor?
It probably killed the most animals.
And that's weird because you don't hear that very often, right? When you hear people talk about them going out, they want to talk about the European settlers, they want to talk about the Native Americans, they want to talk about the people that were hunting them to extinction, but a big part of it really was those diseases and parasites.
They still face them now, the same parasites and the same diseases. For example, sheep carry a disease called malignant catarrhal fever. It may give him a fever for 2 or 3 days, and that's about all it amounts to in a sheep. But in bison, it kills them so fast they can't spread it to other bison.
I am astounded by the impact diseases, parasites, and humanity had on the bison. But I find hope in the fact that conservationists from all walks of life, and with a variety of motives, have brought the buffalo populations back to stable numbers in North America. That hard work and dedication is what makes my hunt possible and sustainable in this present day.
I'm excited for the hunt, but also a little bit nervous about it. Talk to me about shot placement, where we should be aiming on them.
Would be to shoot through the vitals. The heart or the aorta would be the two primary targets you'd shoot for, which should be just behind the elbow and above it, just a little bit, a few inches.
After talking with Dr. Parsons, Jeremy and I parted ways for the first leg of the hunt so we could cover more ground.
This is a yellow garden spider, and while it looks pretty scary, and they are venomous, their venom can't hurt humans, just flies and bees and other prey that they have. They're of the orb weaver family. What's cool about these spiders is they make these circular webs, and at the end of all spider feet, they normally have 2 claws, but this guy has a 3rd additional one, and that helps them spin their complex webs. And you see her going to her egg right now. That's actually an egg. So what'll happen is a male will come up, tug on the strings of the web, and that means it's good vibrations. And he'll come up, they'll mate, and then she'll put 1 or 2 eggs on her web. Looks like she has 1 here, and she will protect it. Very cool.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve, and by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Onyx Hunt, know where you stand with the #1 hunting app. Savage Arms, where better comes standard. Boss Shot Shells, premium grade and American made. Nosler Ammunition, a step above the rest. And by Carlson's Choke Tubes, the only choke tube we've ever used. Reading old journals and books, it seems like buffalo hunters past and present agree. The harvesting of the buffalo isn't really the difficult part. It's the locating them. So Jeremy and I separated to cover more ground. After a day and a half and about 12 miles on foot myself, I finally laid eyes on a small herd.
Finding them's the hard part, because once you find them, harvesting them isn't incredibly difficult. Our ancestors would hunt them with adaladles and spears, and the European settlers would come in and they would use guns, and they knocked the species down so low that at one point there was only 45 left. They would actually communicate with each other state to state and say, hey, I got 2 here. Hey, I got 3 here. Hey, there's 1 over here I saw a couple weeks ago. Hey, my brother's sister's uncle's friend told me that there's 1 over here. That's literally the amount of science that went into determining that there was only about 45 left. Real wild bison. And what's crazy about that is the DNA strands. With only 45, there's like only so much genetics to go around as far as like diversity goes. Very, very narrow.
These bison are about a quarter-mile away as the crow flies. And right now, they're in the open. But they're moseying their way towards the woods, and I need to cut them off before they get there. If they get to the woods, they're liable to get all bunched up, and with all the trees and plants, it's gonna make it hard to make a perfect shot, knowing full well that my bullet won't go through and injure another buffalo. On top of that, I'm starting to lose daylight, so I'm working against the clock.
I like to be within 100 yards, but try and get here before they move out of this field. I guess if one's in here, it's already too late.
That moment, that very moment, it's so simple yet complicated. It's easier to experience than articulate. You feel sorrow for the animal, but gratitude just as strongly. Your senses, they're heightened. So definitely you realize it can't be a conscious decision, but instead, instinctual. Your primitive instincts. You're no longer separated from the world, separated from nature, your food. No, now you're part of it. I think about the Native Americans that hunted these animals. how impactful a successful hunt was to these people. The celebration, the relief, the pride knowing they could take care of their own. Yesterday or today, the feeling is the same.
That is a big, big female. If you hunt for meat like I do, this is the trophy. Wow.
Circle M Live, this is Charles.
Hey Charles, I got good news and I got interesting news. Which one you want first?
I like the intro.
I did shoot a real big female, and I thought of everything. I mean, I got my ammunition, my binoculars, all that stuff, but now I'm out here, and I think I might need some help getting her in, because I didn't think it through past this point.
Well, I've got a John Deere tractor that'll lift her.
Bring it out. I'll send you my coordinates.
Okay, I'll be there in just a jiffy.
This reminds me of a time when I was a kid. I got lost at the apple orchard with my family, and this nice employee that was there offered to give me a ride to go find him in a tractor, and I like stranger danger big time. So I walked along the side of the tractor and refused to get in because I thought he was a creeper, but he ended up just being a nice old man. But found my family and officially won at hide and go seek.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve, and by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Tracker Boats, fish the finest. And by Eagle Fishing, tactical fishing gear for the savvy angler. Rife International, fish for the future. In order to use every piece of my buffalo, I had to clean and skin the animal right away. Time was also of the essence because joining us around the campfire that night was Mr. Patrick McClung, the great-great-grandson of Quanah Parker, the last chief of the Comanches and one of the most famous Native Americans of all time.
Certainly proud to be Quanah Parker descendants and really, really proud of our Comanche people. You know, them fighting for the buffalo and conservation and preservation of the buffalo, said a lot about our story. It provided our food, our clothing, housing. Our tribe fought Red River Wars to try to preserve and save the buffalo. And that one interesting aspect of the Comanches I would add, we are the only native tribe in America that was never truly subdued. We surrendered at Fort Sill, Oklahoma on our own terms. Quanah negotiated that. Through that, I think there was a lot of honor and respect from the same people that we fought with over the buffalo. And one of those people was Theodore Roosevelt. They became dear friends. They sat at the table and ate together. But as you look at his relationship with the president, these guys that would hunt together and had even been enemies at one point could love and respect each other and become great friends even till their death. I think that it's an example to us of unity and not divisiveness, of things that draw people together. And I pray that we would have moments like this where we sit down all races, creeds, and colors in non-judgment and be able to celebrate a hunt. Like I said, the first time you get to eat something that you harvested yourself, really, really special.
It's almost like you're taught a lesson instantaneously. As soon as you pull the trigger or fire that arrow and you have that harvest, and now you're like, wait, that's where food comes from. Like you knew, but you didn't know. And as soon as you make that connection, it's like, okay, well then, if that's the case, then I want to be a part of it.
I challenge everyone that hunts in this country to don't go kill just to kill. Use every part of this buffalo if you harvest it.
Something that I've heard growing up about the Native Americans, creating tools and using every single part of the animal. And I really want to kind of follow that tradition.
Yeah.
If you were to give us one piece of advice when we set off first thing tomorrow morning for his bison, what piece of advice would you give us?
Obviously, first thing, get up early and pray. And give thanks for it before the hunt, and you give thanks after the hunt. And after you give thanks and you butcher it, don't waste a thing, and share with everybody you can.
this stacked up high like this is a sign that this is actually buffalo and not cow. Cool thing about it is when this will dry out, you'll actually be able to take that and use it as like kindling. It'll light good. Not this one. This one's still moist. And you'd be surprised. Cool. I've done it a couple times, and only one time did it smell awful. The other times it's like not that bad. You're not roasting marshmallows, but it's not as bad as you think.
We're gonna go right over there and we'll set up, lay down, prone.
Jeremy finally got to lay eyes on a buffalo, but this one caught on to us pretty quick. We tried to keep cover in between us and keep our noise to a minimum, but by the time Jeremy got set up, the buffalo was then on the move and out of range. We make our best guess at where we think the bison is going and make a plan to get there before he does. But the most important part, we have to make sure he doesn't see us or hear us before he shows up.
Okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Wow.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve, and by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. LEM Game Processing Equipment, Wilderness Athlete, fuel for the rugged. Sea-Doo, live the Sea-Doo life. And by Rufus Teague. Using meat from the hindquarters of my bison, I'm gonna cook up some buffalo sirloin nachos.
Buffalo is crazy lean. And the problem with super lean meat with wild game is if you've ever smelled a piece of hair burning, reeks. It's because protein burning smells terrible. So what we have to do is, with buffalo and other wild game, is I'm adding just a little bit of bacon. What that bacon's gonna do is seal around the meat and protect it. That fat protecting the meat will keep it from burning and help it to cook perfectly and actually save the flavor, make it taste more natural than otherwise. Now once that's all done and all the bacon is ground up, I'm looking at probably right around 15% that versus the actual ground buffalo. So I'm just gonna mix that together so that I've got a good consistency, and I'll run it through one more time. Now all you're doing is just browning the meat. Keep in mind with buffalo, just like any wild game, it's gonna brown way faster. It is not beef and you shouldn't treat it like it is. All right, I'm gonna move this off the heat now that everything's browned, and we're gonna get the seasoning mixed together. We're running about 1.5 pounds of buffalo, and because of that, we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of paprika. We'll do 2 tablespoons of ground cumin. The next is 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. We've also got the 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Last but not least, we're going to do 2 tablespoons of Rufus Teague meat rub. We're just gonna stir that up. This is gonna be your seasoning mix. It's a little bit better than just a standard Mexican packet. I think you're gonna like the flavor a little bit more. We're gonna pour this right into the meat, and then we're gonna put it over the flame again and get it to a rolling boil. Once you've got it bubbling up and really hot and boiling, what you're going to do is just reduce that to low and let it simmer. You can get away with like 10 minutes if the kids are freaking out and starving, but if you got the time, 20, 25 minutes is gonna really allow those spices to soak into the meat a little bit better, give it a little better flavor. Okay, it's good to cut off all the heat. Pretty much all the moisture has gotten out of it. During the entire course of the whole deal, I was stirring it every 2 to 3 minutes, but after about 20 minutes, it's perfect. I'm going to put it on a bed of blue corn tortilla chips. Now, I chose blue corn because they are low on the glycemic index, which means they don't spike your insulin. Insulin is a hormone that tells your body to start storing fat. Next, we'll go with the 4-cheese Mexican cheese. And we've got just your iceberg lettuce. I like a good crunch on it. I like a little taco sauce, and everybody does. But what everybody should enjoy is sour cream. Anyone who doesn't like sour cream on their nachos, you shouldn't trust with your wallet. Oh, how beautiful. And because the meat has like that perfect texture, because we double ground it, you've got the perfect chip and the perfect diversity for every one of them.
On this trip, we hunted bison, and we got the opportunity to meet with very interesting people whose culture and life revolves around this extraordinary animal. The bison is considered to be a keystone species, which means in their ecosystem, they are crucial to the survival of other species. They eat grasses, allowing herbs to grow. They roll around dusting themselves, which creates micro impressions in the soil, which is important for water accumulation, and give the seeds a chance to stick to their fur so they can be carried away and grow elsewhere. Even bison hooves aerate the soil when they walk, and their dung distributes nutrients to many plants, insects, and animals. Their meat, organs, bones, and fur were cherished and utilized by humans. With such an overwhelming impact to so many organisms, it's easy to see why so many cultures consider them to be a direct gift from God. And I tend to agree with that logic. In 1 Corinthians, it says, "Not from the spirit of the world, but from the Spirit of God that things are freely given to us." With a special gift like the bison, it's our duty to leverage every form of hands-on conservation, including hunting, to make sure this monumental gift will be here for future generations.